Hello, good morning my dear students. My name is M. Gopal Reddy. I am going to teach mathematics subject in front of you. See here. Don't compare, my dear students, other subjects with mathematics subject about studying. Because of mathematics subject is a very important subject. We know there is no life without mathematics. There is no life without mathematics. There is no universe without mathematics. This indicates, this says, mathematics is very important, and also scope of the mathematics is wide compared to other subject. ಹೆಂಗೆ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ನೀವು ಗಾಳಿಪಟ ನೋಡಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಗಾಳಿಪಟ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಗಾಳಿಪಟ ಹಾರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ದಾರ ಕಾಣಲ್ಲ. ಆ ದಾರನೇ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ದಾರ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇದು ಗಾಳಿಪಟ ಹಾರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದರೆ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಆನ್ ದ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಅಂತಹ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಲಿಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಪರಿಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಕಲಿಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಅದರ ಸ್ಕೋಪನು ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅದರ ಕಲಿಕೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಪರಿಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಹೆಂಗೆ? ಸಿಯರ್, ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ PUC ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್, we know something about mathematics. That is the here, how can you learn that is the mathematics? The mathematics subject, learning of mathematics subject depending upon some objectives. Maybe knowledge, understanding, application, skill, interest, positive attitude. These objects involved when you are learning mathematics subject. Without these objectives, we cannot study that is completely mathematics subject. How? Knowledge, that is the ಜ್ಞಾನ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. ಜ್ಞಾನ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಈ ವಿಷಯ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್, ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ. ನಾವು ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಒಂದು ಪರಿಕಲ್ಪನೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಈ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ಓದೋದಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್, this is one of the important objective in mathematics. Applications, that means by knowing the concepts, if you know any concepts, then we can apply those learned concept in new situation. Skill, ಕೌಶಲ್ಯ. ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ವಯ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಕೌಶಲ್ಯ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಏನೇ ಒಂದು ನಾವು ಕಲಿಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮುಖ್ಯ. ಸ್ಕಿಲ್, ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್, ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಗುರಿಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮುಟ್ಟೋದಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್, ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆ್ಯಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್, ಯಾವಾಗೂ ಧನಾತ್ಮಕವಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಗುರಿ ನಾವು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಬೇಕು. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇಷ್ಟು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದರೆ ಗಣಿತ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೋದು, ಕಲಿಬಹುದು ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ. ನಾವು ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೈ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್, ಮೈ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್? ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ಸ್, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ವ್ಯಾಖ್ಯಾನಗಳು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಜನರಲಿ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ದ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ and definition of a mathematics. Mathematics is a science of numbers. Science of numbers, my dear students. We know the meaning and definition of a science. Science means systematic study of knowledge. Study of knowledge. My dear students, science means systematic study of knowledge. Then mathematics can be defined or can be saying like this: systematic study of knowledge of numbers. Systematic study of numbers, what we called as, that is the mathematics. That is the mathematics. Mainly you learn in lower classes, there are 3 branches in mathematics. That is, the first one is arithmetic, second one is algebra, third one is geometry. These are the 3 branches you studied in lower classes. Arithmetic, in this branch you studied about the number system, isn't it? About the number system. In algebra you studied, that is the algebraic terms, algebraic expressions, identities, equations, isn't it? All are related to this branch. And geometry means, that is the geo and metry. Geo means what? Earth. Metry means what? Measurement. That is the measurement of earth. That means measurement of objects, the earth. What we call as geometry. The extended of 3 branches. The extended of 3 branches. We studied different branches like, I think, trigonometry, analytical geometry, in future calculus branch, and so on, statistics and so on branches. We know the trigonometry. Tri means 3, gono means that is the angle or sides, metry means measurement, that is the 3-sided or 3-angle geometrical figure, what we call as triangle. Measurement of triangle, what we call as trigonometry. Analytical geometry, the study of geometrical problems. Study of geometrical problems using algebraic concepts. Algebraic concept. Study of geometrical problems using algebraic concept. That is called as new branch, analytical geometry. And also calculus. This is the very, very important branch in mathematics. Because of, without this branch we cannot study future classes, that means higher level classes, mathematics. That is the very, very important branch. We discuss later. Because of this is the new branch for you, that is the for first PUC. Up to here I think you studied in lower classes. Yes, my dear students. Now we are going to entering into the, we are moving first PUC mathematics syllabus, my dear students. First PUC mathematics syllabus. The chapters one by one in first PUC, there are 16 chapters. There are 16 chapters in mathematics, my dear students. One by one I am going to write on the board. That is, the first one is sets. The second one is relations and functions. The third chapter is trigonometric functions. The fourth one is mathematical induction. The fifth chapter is complex numbers and quadratic equations. Complex numbers and quadratic equation. This is the fifth chapter. Sixth chapter, my dear students, in first PUC syllabus, sixth chapter, linear inequalities. Seventh chapter, my dear students, here permutations and combinations. Next, eighth chapter in first PUC syllabus, binomial theorem. Binomial theorem. The next chapter is sequence and series. Sequence and series. Next, the 10th chapter is straight line. The 11th chapter is conic section. 12th chapter is 3D geometry. Thirteenth chapter is, my dear students, 13th chapter is limits and derivatives. Limits and derivatives. The 14th chapter is, my dear students, mathematical reasoning. Mathematical reasoning. The 15th chapter is statistics. The last chapter is probability. These are the chapters involved in first PUC mathematics. My dear students, out of 16 chapters here, these 3 chapters related to one branch, what we call as functions branch. These 3 chapters. Here, to teach these 3 chapters need nearly 36 hours. It carries individual, that is the 8 hours, 10 hours and 18 hours. It carries 8 marks, 11 marks, 19 marks. That is about the function. This is the new chapter for you in first PUC. The extended of sets, we have to study relations and functions. I think trigonometry already you studied in lower classes, that is in 10th. Anyway, we are going to study these 3 chapters in first PUC, and also very, very important. Without, that is the sets, relations and functions, trigonometric function, we cannot study, that is the concepts of limits and derivatives. ಲಿಮಿಟ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಡಿರೈವೇಟಿವ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ನ ನಾವು ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ without these 3 chapters. That is the very, very important chapters. With the help of these chapters, we can study limits and derivative. Therefore, we have to give importance for these 3 chapters. Next, mathematical induction, complex numbers and quadratic equations, linear inequalities, permutations and combinations, binomial theorem, sequence and series. These are the chapters which are related to the algebra. This is the functions. Algebra. See here, this is the mathematical induction is one of the chapter in algebra. I think this is the new chapter for you for first PUC. This is easily chapter if you know the numbers, that is the sum of the numbers, product of numbers we can study in this chapter. Complex number, this is another type of number. We know already natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, rational numbers, real numbers. Other than these numbers, we have to study new type of numbers, that is what we call as complex number. You know the equations, quadratic equations you studied in lower classes. Here extended of solutions of quadratic equation, we get the complex roots. Next one is linear inequalities. We studied that is the linear equalities equations. By using other than equal symbol, we can solve the linear inequalities in this chapter. This is also, I think, new chapter for you. Permutations and combinations, binomial theorem, these are related chapters. Sequence and series, this is also, that is the using number systems, extended concepts. In this chapter you studied arithmetic progression, geometric progression, and also harmonic progression. Okay, we'll discuss later. This is what we call as important one, that is the analytical geometry. Overall, another name for this chapter we give branch, what we call as coordinate geometry. Already I discussed coordinate geometry means, you know, that is the study of geometrical problems by using concept of algebra, by using algebra branch, or by using principles of algebra anta helಬಹುದು makkale. This is another very important branch, that is the straight line, conic section, and 3D geometry. This is an extended of 2D geometry. In 2D geometry ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, there are 2 coordinate axes, but in 3D geometry there are 3 coordinate axes, x, y, z. We have to discuss, that is the later. And also this is the very important chapter, that is the branch belongs to, this chapter belongs to the branch what we call as calculus branch. The calculus branch is very important, as we heart important for human beings, of human beings heart ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟು ಅದೇ ಥರ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೆರಿವೇಟಿವ್ಸ್. Next one is mathematical reasoning. This is also new chapter for you. This one also new chapter for you. Statistics, this is already you studied in lower classes, extended of these concepts. Next one, probability. I think probability is also you studied in lower classes, or new chapter for first place. Yes, now these 16 chapters takes to teach nearly 140 hours, and the question paper consisting questions, 50 questions for 150 marks, but we have to write only 100 marks. That means eligible to score 100 marks out of 150 marks. 150 ಅಂಕಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಆನ್ಯುವಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋಂಥದ್ದು, ನೀವು ತೆಗಿಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋಂತಹ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಪಡಿಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋಂಥ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ 100 ಅಷ್ಟು. 50 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, 50 ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್. ನಾನು ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ವೈಸ್ ಯಾವ ಎಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳು ಯಾವ ಥರ ಇರ್ತಾವಂತ ನಾನು ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ವೈಸ್ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಯಾವ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ 1 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ, 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ, 3 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ, 4 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಮತ್ತು 5 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ಗಿರುತ್ತಂತ ನಾನು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ, ಆ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ನಾನು ಆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಮೈ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, Yes, this is about the syllabus in first PUC. Here, mathematics subject is the easiest subject compared to other subjects if you know with clarity, with accuracy. This is like a concrete subject. If you know basic operations, basic formulae, if you understood with clarity, we can easily learn. ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿ ಕಲಿಬಹುದು. Because of this is like a chained subject, linked subject. Okay, now we need some basic points to learn the first chapter sets, my dear students. Okay, now I am going to discuss some of the groups or types of numbers. That is, the first one is natural numbers. We know number is an abstract symbol. Simply to write the number, we use the symbol 1 of 2. This is 2. For 3, we represent like this. For 5, these are the numbers and also called as digits. Okay. First one is natural numbers. My dear students, the counting numbers, what we called as natural numbers. ಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್, ಎಣಿಕೆಗೆ ಬಳಸುವಂತಹ ನಂಬರ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸ್ವಾಭಾವಿಕ ಅಂಕೆ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಗಳು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿನೋಟೆಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಎನ್. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. These 3 dots indicate so on. We can write infinite natural numbers. These are all natural numbers. The natural numbers start with 1. We are used, these are all for counting process. Isn't it? That is about the natural number. Second one is what we call as whole numbers. These numbers are denoted as W, capital W. The whole numbers are the numbers which are natural numbers including 0. ಜೀರೋನ ಸೇರಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸನ್ನು ಬರೆದಾಗ ಆ ಬರುವಂತಹ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಹೋಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಹೋಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ, ಪೂರ್ಣ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಗಳು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ 0, 1, 2, 3, so on, including 0 along with natural numbers, what we call as whole numbers ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Now the third one is integers. These numbers are denoted as Z or I. ಕನ್ನಡ ಪೂರ್ಣಾಂಕಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. My dear students, any number having 2 values. One is positive value, another one is negative value. Isn't it? Then we define that is the integers. Integers are positive values, negative values, including 0. Positive values, negative values, including 0. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. Isn't it? negative values, so on, -1, -2, -3, -4. Are you understood? So on. We can write 1 minute. We can write, that is the so on, my dear students, -3, -2, -1, and also 0. By combining, we can write these are 0 plus or minus 1 plus or minus 2 plus or minus 3, so on. Here plus 1 plus 2 plus 3, so on, what we call as positive integers. -1, -2, -3, -4, so on, what we call as negative integers. 0 is called as neither positive nor negative. ಅದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ, ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ಅದು ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲ್ ಒನ್. 0 is called as neutral integer. That is about the integers, my dear students. Next we have to move on rational numbers. Which are denoted as Q. Rational numbers which are denoted as Q. The numbers which can be expressed in the form of P by Q. The numbers which can be expressed in the form of P by Q, where P comma Q belongs to, my dear students, Z or I, that is integers, with the condition Q not equal to 0, my dear students. With the condition Q not is equal to 0. That means denominator part number which is not equal to 0. Such a numbers what we called as rational numbers. Example we can give 1 by 2, -3 by 5, 0 by 1, also 2, 3. These are also rational numbers, since 2 can be expressed as 2 by 1, 3 can be expressed as 3 by 1. That means we can express in the form of P by Q. These are all integers. Now my question in front of you, is it 2 by 0? Is it a rational number? No, since that is the denominator Q naught is equal to 0. Sir, what happens if denominator is 0? If denominator is 0, this is not defined. That means 2 by 0 means infinity. That means which is infinite. We cannot say any value. We cannot define any value for this one. This is extended up to infinity. For that, denominator is not equal to 0 in rational numbers. Are you understood, my dear students? Next, irrational numbers. Irrational numbers, which is denoted as or Q dash or Q dash also. Q dash also. These are the numbers which cannot be expressed in the form of P by Q, where P and Q belongs to integers and Q naught is equal to 0. ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಇರ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ರ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಫಾರಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಬರೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ಯಾವ ಫಾರಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀತೀವಿ? ದ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾರಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ √2, ಮೇ ಬಿ √3, √5, even pi. Another example, e. this is pi, this is exponential constant. These are all irrational numbers. But root 4 is not a irrational number, because of root 4 can be written as 2. 2 is a rational number, since the 2 can be expressed as 2 by 1. ನಾವು ರೂಟ್ 4ಅನ್ನು ಇರಾಷನಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ರೂಟ್ 4ಗೆ ನಾವು 2 ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಆ ಎರಡನ್ನು ನಾವು 2/1 ಅಂತ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ರ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಸ್, these are the numbers, examples for irrational numbers. Pi, this is 22/7. Sir, 22/7 which is in the form of which one? P by Q form, sir. How can you give an example for irrational? My dear students, if we divide 22/7, we get repeated digits. Isn't it? Such a fractions which are belongs to the irrational numbers, not rational numbers. Another definitions are there. Recurring or non-recurring decimals ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ವಿಧಾನದಲ್ಲೂ ನಾವು ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಮೈ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ರ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇರ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್. ಬಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ಸ್. ಇಸೆಂಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಹೆಂಗೆ ಸರ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ 1, 1st, 2nd, 3rd ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಒಂದು ದಿಕ್ಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿ ಒಂದು ದಿಕ್ಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಸ್ತಮಸ್ತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಬಟ್ ಹೈಯರ್ ಲೆವೆಲಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? ಸೂರ್ಯ ಹುಟ್ಟೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮುಳುಗೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಭೂಮಿ ತಿರುಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ಲ? ಇಸೆಂಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ವೇ ಹಿಯರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಮೈ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್. Isn't it? That is the basic definitions to know. Next one is the 6th one, that is the very, very important one, real numbers. Real numbers. This is the biggest collection of numbers, because of in these numbers all the numbers are involved. That is the definition of real number, which is denoted as R. Definition of a real number. Real number is the union of rationals and irrational. Union of rationals and irrationals. What we call as real numbers. ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ನೋಡಿ, ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತವೆ? ಹೋಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ. ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೋಲ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಟೀಜರ್ಸ್. ಇಂಟೀಜರ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ರ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್. But rational numbers which are not present in irrationals. Isn't it? These two are designed. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿರೋಂಥ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿರಲ್ಲ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿರಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಇವೆರಡು ನಂಬರ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನಾನು ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಬರುವಂತಹ ಬಿಗ್ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ರಿಯಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Isn't it? Isn't it? This is about the real numbers, that is the union of rationals and irrationals. ನೋಡಿ, ರ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋಂಥವು ಇರಾಷನಲ್ ಇರೋಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಹಂಗಾದರೆ ಅವೆರಡರ ಇಂಟರ್ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಎಂಟಿ. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಮುಂದೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಬಟ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಸಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಎಸ್, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮೂವ್ ಆನ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್. ಈವನ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್, ದ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿವಿಸಬಲ್ ಬೈ 2, what we call as even numbers. Example 2, 4, 6, so on. These are all even numbers which are divisible by 2. The numbers which are not divisible by 2, what we call as odd numbers. Examples 1, 3, 5, so on. These are all odd numbers which are not divisible by 2. But these numbers which are divisible by 2. Next one is prime numbers. The numbers which are divisible by 1 and itself. ಒಂದರಿಂದ ಭಾಗ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ನಂಬರಿಂದ ಭಾಗ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಅಂಥ ನಂಬರ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Start with the 2. 1 is not a prime number. Because of square root of 1 we can write 1. Cube root of 1 we can write 1. For that, this is not a prime number. Therefore, the prime number starts with 2, 3, 5, 7, so on. These are the numbers which are divisible by 1 and itself. These are called as prime numbers. Yes, with the help of these type of numbers, we start in the next class, my dear students, one of the very important chapter, that is the sets. Okay, thank you. That is we have to need these concepts or these type of numbers to study, to learn easily. That is the sets chapter. Okay, thank you.